What's up from the Northeast? So today I'm going to teach you guys how to add the C88 machining short throw cocking lever for the Umarex Zelos. I'm going to switch the camera angle and try to bring it in closer so you guys can get a better idea of what I'm doing. I know a lot of people have asked for an overhead shot, but I don't have any type of camera equipment that I can do that with yet. I am looking into it. I bought this thing that goes around your neck, but it didn't really work and it kept getting in my way. With that said, let me change the camera angle and get you guys in closer so we can get this started. Let's go. All right, let me sneak back in here. All right, let's get this started. So to start, we're going to take off the cheek piece. That is a 2.5 millimeter, and you're going to be using that 2.5 for quite a bit of these screws. 2 screws. Take those off, set that aside, set those screws inside of it to not lose it. We're going to remove this rail. The rear 2 screws are 2.5 millimeter, and that front screw is 3 millimeter. Be careful when you take this off because you do have a metal washer and 2 alignment dowels. Oops, there goes that washer. All right, so that washer sits right there in the front for that 3 millimeter screw, and then you have 2 alignment dowels that sit just behind the rear 2 screws. So we're going to put those alignment dowels back in the rail so we don't lose them. And we're going to take that washer off as well and put that on the screw. We don't want to lose that. Okay. You're going to need a 2 millimeter for this next one to remove the 12 screws to remove the butt plate. You have 6 on one side, 6 on the other. Don't want to lose these. We don't want to lose any screw, so try to take your time. Obviously, I'm trying to be a little bit faster for the sake of video, so this doesn't end up being a 45-minute video. All right, let's turn this around and get those other 6 screws. Alright, now we can remove the butt pad, set that aside, and we'll grab our screws and put those with the butt pad so we don't lose them. Remember, there's 12 of those, and they're small so we don't want to lose them. I'm just going to start myself a little parts bin. Alright, so now we're going to take this top plate off. And I believe those are all 2.5. You have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 screws in total. What I like to do is leave them right in the rail. And leave them right in the holes that they come out of. So I don't lose them. And I set that aside. Okay. You have 1 screw on your cocking lever rail. That is a 2 millimeter. We're going to pull that out. Oh no! That fell down in. So we're definitely going to want to be careful of that. Don't let that fall down in. We're going to set that aside. Actually, you know what? We'll put it right back in the hole, just not attached to the cocking lever linkage. All right. I should have pulled the barrel in the beginning, but I didn't. All right, so let's pull this barrel out. You got 2 screws, same 2.5. And that barrel should slide right out. Okay, don't want to lose that grub screw. Set that off to the side. And then we'll unscrew this linkage from the block. Set that down. Then we have to take this block off, which again is 2.5. Just lift that right off. And that linkage pops off. All right. So what you're going to have here is a little pin, which I used a flathead to kind of pry it off. See if I can find one. Might be able to do it with the Allen key. You just got to get underneath it and pry it. Tapped it back in there pretty good. Maybe I can work it out by hand. Yep. All right. So you can work that out by hand. On the original, you have a pin that needs to be pounded out. So this would be in here because you need this piece. So you're going to pound that out. And then you're going to take your new lever and you're going to pound that in. It only pounds out one way and it only pounds in one way. So there are teeth on the side, and then one side is smooth. So you're going to tap it out from the smooth side, and then you're going to tap it in, smooth side down, teeth up. And then we're going to put this back together. Once you get that piece on there, remember that little post that we took out? Make sure I get that correctly. We're going to tap that back in. You don't want to pound it tight. You just kind of want to tap it in a little bit to give it a little bit of play. Otherwise, the cocking handle will be really stiff. So we're going to take that and we're just going to tap that back in. Hey! Oh no! Alright, so we got and then there's a pin here where that other piece is going to slide back on. We're going to get that block. And you have a cutout. That hole is going to go on top of that. It's going to sit right there. Just how you took it off. And then we're going to take our 2.5, and we're going to screw that back in. We're going to do that by hand. Snug that up. You might want to use a little bit of Loctite for some of this. And just kind of move that around, see if it moves freely and loosely. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to... Where's that thing don't want to stay, huh? I'm going to put my linkage back on. Remember, it's going to screw into that front block. If you have to, mine has Loctite on it, so I know exactly how deep to go. But if you have to, use a marker or something to mark it, so you know where it was. I'm going to take that rear screw back out. And it fell back in the block. Of course it did, why wouldn't it? And we're going to put our cocking linkage back together. This does require a little dexterity. And that's going to be a 2mm. Okay. I think this will be a little bit easier if we put our rear stock back on. It'll give that rear a little more rigidity. Tip that sideways. And remember, these screws for this are 2mm. Again, this is going to require a little bit of dexterity. And it'll just give the rifle a little more rigidity as we're putting it back together. I really hope these videos help you guys. You know, I'm no professional cameraman by any means, and I'm sorry if, you know, you can't see everything perfectly. I try to explain to the best of my abilities, so it makes it a little easier on you guys. And we'll put a couple more on the other side. I probably make it look harder than it actually is. It's very simple. As long as you follow the steps. If you need to, pause the video, go back. You know, take pictures if you need to. When you take things apart, that is like the easiest way to remember how things go back together. Is if you take a picture before you take it apart, that way you have something to reference when you're going back to put it back together. I actually do that quite a bit, and it has helped me I don't know how many times. Go back to that other side. Put those last two in. And we'll get our barrel back in and we'll see if it cocks correctly. Get that one grub screw back that fell out. Grub screws are 2.5 as well. Just kind of thread that in so it stays put. And what do we do with our barrel? Remember, you have this front piece that came with the barrel. I'll show you where that sits in just a second. It's going to sit flush with that so it can hold your top rail in. Good way to remember how this rail goes on are these two long screws will sit in the front. Remember, all these were 2.5. Again, guys, I really hope this helps. I hope this comes out on video so you can see it. And it helps you guys. Like I said, if I make it look hard, it's not hard. I mean, if I can do it, literally anybody can do it. As long as you take your time, don't force anything. If you're getting resistance, back off, try again. Be patient. Be in a good state of mind. You know, if you try to do anything frustrated, we know how that ends up. It doesn't work. So you got to be in a good state of mind. You know, things aren't always going to be perfect. You know, Lord knows I've had my share of frustrations. All right. Now, remember, we took these alignment dowels out, put those back, and then we had that metal washer in the front. We'll put that back. And then we will put our rail back on. Those alignment dowels and that washer really help. And those rear are 2.5, so we'll get those back on, snug those up. Don't over tighten anything. You know, if you gotta use a little bit of Loctite. Then that front screw is 3 millimeters. Snug that up. Got our cheek piece. Scrub screws are in the way. I'm gonna take those scrub screws out and just make sure my barrel is aligned properly. Okay. That is aligned properly. And we'll tighten these scrub screws down so we can get our cheek piece back on. Again, no need to over tighten them. If you got to use a little bit of Loctite, you just want them snugged up. Drop that cheek piece back on. 2.5. Alright guys, that's my video on how to install the C88 short throw cocking lever. I really hope this helps you guys. I'm sorry it took so long. I've gotten so many messages of people asking me to do this video. And there you go. He does have two different colored knurled cocking levers. He has one that's been anodized black, and then he has a silver one if that's your thing. I do kind of wish the lever was anodized, but I've got some other pieces that are raw, so it does look pretty good. It does kind of get in the way of the safety a little bit. You got to kind of lift it up to get it off safe. You don't have to lift it up to put it on safe, but you got to kind of get it out of the way to get it off safe. But yeah, guys, I'll hopefully be doing some videos coming up. More power, baby. I've got some stuff coming from another creator, a guy on eBay who makes some other powerful parts for this, valves, jig kits to open up the block, and I'm going to be working with him a little bit to bring this thing up to be able to sling 60 and 60 grain Altero slugs. So, oh, I did add an 800 millimeter FX liner, as you see from C88 Machining. He helped me get this all together. But again, guys, I hope this helped. I hope God blesses all of you and your families. I hope you're all killing it at life. And I hope everything you need in this life comes to fruition. I'm out. Later.